move on to stage 4 for the 2010 Dakar. We leave Argentina, we go over the top of the Andes, we go into Chile. Reigning Dakar champion on two wheels, Mark Comer, he's got a lot of time to make up after problems earlier on. He's got a charge. And after his problems yesterday when he lost over 54 minutes, Robbie Gordon, he's got to get his foot down. 24 hours earlier though, it was the stage in Argentina into Fiambala. Fortunately, the weather much different from the previous day, scorching temperatures. Also, the navigation for everybody was significantly different. People going every which way, but seemingly forward. But fortunately, in those searing temperatures, the fans from Argentina were out and they were able to help. Thank goodness for the spectators. The riders, of course, always helping each other out. The whole ambience of camaraderie on this Dakar rally really is unmatched. Radiators overheated, temperatures approaching 122 degrees for some of the water in some of the radiators that we heard on the stage into Fiambala. And at some points, the spectators were really getting stuck in. It was just like a pit stop in the Le Mans 24-hour race, or maybe for others it was just like, I don't know, the Tour de France, pouring water down their backs and giving them a little bit of cooling. Never ever has a drink of water been so sweet. Decided to, well, take command. We're helping, whilst other people had maybe more fundamental problems. The whole stage yesterday really did have an African feel to it. Scenes reminiscent of the early couple of stages last year. And the fesh, the very fine dust that had just been ground down to, well, a substance that's just like talcum powder, giving all sorts of problems for everybody, including former circuit racer Philippe Gache. He's once more driving his SMG buggy. A bike stopped in the middle of the track, so I obviously had to avoid him. I went left, but now I'm stuck. I think I'm now going to be here quite a while because there's another 8 kilometres of this still to go. The SMG buggy was stuck on a tree root, believe it or not. And another 8 kilometres of this? No wonder people were in such trouble on the stage to Fiambala. Help of the fans, as always, he managed to get going away. He was en route. Problems though for the McRae buggies, the 1-litre Skidoo engined two-wheel drive cars, as night fell. Dutchman Chris Lades, who was co-driving with Alistair McRae 12 months ago, in all sorts of trouble.
A lot of fresh, and it's bad for the mechanic system of the gearbox, but I cleaned every time and I got a little further, but now I got stuck and I already have 2 changes of the clutch, but I hope we can make it to the bivouac to be there tomorrow, because half a year of work, 7 days a week, and we want at least 1 car to finish. That would be nice.
as always, got a sense of humour as the McRae buggies were towed into the darkness and back to Fiambala. But as always, the 7 of them trying to stay as a team and stick together. This driver's saying, my car is somewhere here, or maybe it's over there, but we're stuck between 2 dunes. A long night. Soul-destroying stuff out there in the desert, and that was only just stage 3. Back in the bivouac very late last night, just before midnight, former leader Nanny Roma's stricken BMW was dragged into service. He'd gone over a dune, and over the other side of it was a cliff face. The former leader is out of the rally, not only with a wrecked car but an injured hand. He says it's incredible how this rally can change right from the start. First day I was over the moon, and now I'm out of the rally. It's a very sad day, but at the same time I'm very happy for my teammate Gerlan and Stefan, because they are doing so well. Dramatic news late last night. Roma out. Stage 4 of the 2010 Dakar, from Fiambala to Copiapo. We move from Argentina into Chile. A long liaison over the top and the border crossing before the first whopper of a stage in Chile. The bikes were delayed for an hour and a half this morning, the Dakar organisers giving time for people to get out of the stage the day before and give them a chance of staying in the rally. And this is only stage 4 under a 14 in total. Quite amazing numbers. Of the 122 bikes left this morning from the 151 that left Buenos Aires. Now the man who's got to get it wide open is Mark Coma. And Coma certainly did do that. He got a 22-minute penalty early on in the rally, and then yesterday he lost further time to be over 40 minutes behind the overall leader, Cyril Dupre. Now this is Coma catching Jonas Street on the stage through one of the dry riverbeds. Coma, as always, being as courteous as ever. Coma is cheerful, he's on form, he knows he's got to dig deep, he knows he's got to pull his finger out, but he knows that surely his luck is going to change at one point on this rally. And it has today, because Mark Coma has rocked up the victor of today's stage. He's up 2 places in the overall standings to 6th overall. Second on the stage and second overall is David Cousteau on the Sherco 450. That's one hell of an impressive result on the tiny 450 compared with the bigger but air-restricted 690 of Coma. Here is Cyril Dupre. He's continuing to lead this Dakar after this stage 4 into Copiapo. Dupre with an overall lead of just under 9 minutes. As they blasted into the Atacama Desert, drier by a factor of 50 than Death Valley in California, the scenes really were beginning to take your breath away. Not that the riders had much time to look. And what about the man who's been looking forward to riding in Chile more than anybody else in this entire rally, Francisco Lopez, Chaleco, on the Aprilia V-Twin 450. He might have made a couple of mistakes with the navigation, but 4th for him on the stage, back into his homeland. And he's staying in 7th position in the overall standings. Gonçalves, the Portuguese, Gonçalves, another good run from him today. And here is Luca Manca. Manca on the KTM 690. As always, that Italian, he really is taking advantage of the unrestricted 690 because he's not one of the elite riders that the organisers have then put the air restrictor upon. Helder Rodriguez, he's another one on the Aprilia 450, similar to that of Chaleco, and that V-twin, it's got a lot more power than the single cylinders of the Yamaha and indeed the 450 of Gonçalves, so he's going to be up there, particularly when you need to climb, and climb indeed they did today, as well as drop from over 3,100 metres on the stage. Now Pal Anders Olavarseter, the Norwegian, he had trouble yesterday with his big KTM. It was overheating, but Olavarseter still inside the top 10, 9th overall. Olivier Pan, haven't seen much of him so far this year. Olivier on the Yamaha 450, he's got 8th on the stage today, and he'll be happy with that performance. Przgonski, the Pole, he's on a restricted 690. 7th on the stage, but still knocking on the door of the top 10. Alain Duclos, he had a good run, and he is 5th in the overall standings. Now, big news, because the reigning champion, Josef Maček, is out of the rally. So, it's all up for honours, and it's all up for grabs on the four-wheeled quad class. But good news for Argentina, Alejandro Patronelli takes his first Dakar stage victory, just one place ahead of, well, you've guessed it, his brother Marcos. A family one too as they leave Argentina. That's a bit of a farewell present to give their family. On stage 4, Mark Comer is victorious, just 2 minutes ahead of David Cousteau. Dupre in touch, Lopez and Gonçalves. But overall, Dupre, he continues to lead by just under 9 minutes from Cousteau, Rodriguez, Luca Manca. What a superb job ahead of Duclos. With a Comer saying today, well, I just had to forget the problems and the penalties, and I've got in a good rhythm today. It was a very enjoyable blast through the dunes, a long way away from yesterday's heat. That was just too oppressive. But I'm happy to be here in Copiapo. Cousteau second, he said, I made good navigation on the stage, I could keep focused throughout the whole run. I've got a good time, even if it was very fast, but my bike is still so surprising, and it's surprising me. It's unbelievable.
Elle m'impressionne de plus en plus. C'est vraiment incroyable. Ça fait plaisir de prendre un peu de vent dans la figure.
Dupre, the overall leader. It's a pleasure to get a bit of wind in your face with the dust and the sand and the navigation too. The first few parts of the stage were not easy. First, small dunes, camel grass and the desert. Chaleco, 4th today, saying it's better. Yesterday I had a problem with the fuel, and yet today it was shorter and it was cooler. Then we got into the dunes. I saw many people, and I'm happy to be here.